So, review number 1, decimals. Make sure you put your name, period, and date on there. Full name, no initials, of course. Get used to this being period 1. Does anybody else need attendance? Alright. So do me a favor on each one of these. So like on number 1, please rewrite this as you would have in elementary school. Now, I know you can probably look at it and just get the answer. Please show me that. I'm not going to assume that you know how to do this unless you show me. Okay, so rewrite this vertically. Of course, start on the right side, add up the tenths place. 1 plus 7 is 8. Add up the ones place. 6 plus 2 is 8. So just like that. And if you haven't done this so far, just please start doing this. You don't have to go back and fix every little thing. So 4.8 plus 6.6. 8 plus 6. 14. Carry the 1. 4 and 6 makes 10. 10 and 1 is 11. Just like that. Go down here. 6.9. This is subtraction, right? 1.43. And if you like, put a 0 right in there to fill up the space. So I'm sure you've learned that you do, well, you can't do 0 minus 3, so you go over here and borrow. You know, that does work, that's fine. There are other ways of looking at this. Some people might say, well, what's 90 minus 43? And if you know what 90 minus 43 is, or you can figure that out easily, you can just put the answer down here. Kind of skip the borrowing. I want you to kind of look at things in a different way and see if it works for you. Sometimes we're used to doing things so routinely that we don't really look for maybe there's an easier, different way that might work better for you. So consider that. If it's if you have the time, you're going real fast, it might be fine, but if not, like I'm saying, some of you might be able to look at 90 and 43 and know, well, 90 minus 43 is 47. You don't have to really do all this other stuff here. You can just count backward and do something and figure it out that way. And of course, 6 minus 1 is just 1. All right, so I'm looking for form, technique, neatness. If I can't read your writing, I can't grade your writing, so I don't know what you know. So make sure, if anything else, if you have everything accurate, make sure it's very, very pretty. So that anybody can read it. It's very legible. It's not written small. It's not written tiny. Habits like that. I know some students get mad at me because I give their whole homework back because I'll just say write bigger. I'll have to rewrite the whole thing just larger. So keep that in mind. If it is too small, I will have you redo it just because you can't read it. All right, 8 minus 7.73. So one more example on this side. Again, you can go into autopilot right here. But can you count just how far is it from 7.73 to get up to 8? Yeah, so if I go 0.07 more, that's going to take me to 0.8. So yeah, if I can just count up, well, I know how far 73 is from 100, it's 27. Right? And if you want to look at it this way, it should add up the other way. So 7 plus 3, 10, Carry the 1, 1 plus 2 plus 7 is 10, carry the 1, and so on. So you can look at things in a different way. You don't necessarily have to go to autopilot. We taught you this method way back in the day because it's easy just to remember the same step, repeat it. But for some people, this just makes sense. You don't have to go through the routine. You can just say, well, I know it's, 73 and 27 makes 100. And, I know that if I have $8 and I spend $7.73, I have 27 cents left over. I don't need to borrow and do all this stuff. It just, makes sense to me. So keep that in mind. Look at things in a different way, if that works for you. Now, if you think about it, you look at it, you say, everything Mr. Hodge just said is very confusing, then just do what you've always done that works for you. But some of you might find that the math is a little bit easier than you remember. You can look at it in a different way. Okay. Let's skip over to the back. Old-fashioned multiplication. So let's do, nice. Let's do, yeah. Of course, the order doesn't matter. I'm going to put 2.2 times 0.5. This is like the only instance you'll see us using x as multiplication. Otherwise, it's a variable. Usually, like, we use the dot. All right, so what's the answer? Let me know quickly for a different reason, yeah?
11.
Close.
11.
Close, off by 1 decimal place. Yeah. Close, also. Let's go through the steps in practice. So, here we go. So, what do we do first? 5 times 2? 10. And carry over here. 5 times 2 is 10 again, plus 1 is 11. How many decimal places do we have here? Yeah, 1 and 2. 1 and 2. So, 1.1. Does anybody see a faster way to get there? How about this? 0.5 is also the same as what fraction? 1/2. What's half of 2.2? 1.1. Right? Just didn't really need to think about that. I know 1.1 plus 1.1 is 2.2. So 0.5 is 1/2. Half of 2.2 is 1.1. This is a number sense thing. So if you said, this is a good point actually to make about the Common Core. If you said something like 11, you had the numbers but the decimal point is wrong, this is why we want to start thinking about what we're actually doing. Realizing if I multiply this number by something less than 1, the answer has to be less than what we started with. This is any number multiplying by that's less than 1 will make the answer smaller. It's like taking half of this. We can't take half of 2.2 and get 11. Right? So we're going to be thinking about the numbers and what they mean, not just going through steps and, well, I hope I got it right. Okay. Would you guys like to do some more on this side, or you guys just want to start working? Look at any of them on the left-hand side I'll do. Anything here you want to go over? Speak now or be on your own? Or we work with each other? 17. All right, good. So here we go. What's a good way of approaching this problem? There you go. 8 plus 3, somebody said. Do we have to go left to right if it's all addition? No. So 8 plus 3 is 11. So now we have 11 plus 5.1. And then you can add those two together. 11.0 plus 5.1. 11 plus 5 is 6. There you have it. And please box your answer. Box your answer. Very useful. All right, so we went over a few things. Very important. 0.5 is a half. Sometimes it's easier just to think about what a half is of something. Okay. On the front, we can do the normal steps for borrowing and everything, but I urge you to maybe look at it in a different way. If you have $8 and you spend $7.73, if you know there's 27 cents left over, never mind all the other stuff. Okay. Make sense out of it, as opposed to step 1, step 2, okay, I get a number as an answer, I hope it's right. So, thinking about the problem, not just going through the routine. For some of these like this here, up here, we have to go through the routine. You just have to follow the steps. Okay. Daring you guys to think outside the box, think in a different way. So, that's really it. If you finish early,